What if I told you that a single 5-minute ritual each morning could add 4 decades to your life after 55? Imagine waking up feeling energized, pain-free, and confident that the years ahead belong to you, not to a calendar ticking down. Are you still dragging yourself out of bed with stiffness, brain fog, and a lingering worry about the next medical bill? Take a breath, because what I'm about to share will change the way you greet the sunrise forever. I'm Dr. Anna Torres, a PhD in nutritional gerontology, and for the past 20 years, I've studied how tiny daily habits can shift the aging curve. Science tells us that the age we celebrate on our birthday is merely a number. What truly matters is our biological age, the state of our cells, our telomeres, and the level of chronic low-grade inflammation that we call inflammaging. Most seniors start their day with a coffee-filled sugar rush or a mindless scroll on the phone, actions that spike glucose and cortisol, accelerating that invisible wear and tear. In the next 15 minutes, you'll learn exactly what to do the moment you open your eyes to protect your mitochondria, balance your hormones, and nourish the gut-brain axis without expensive supplements or complicated routines. Let's break the morning down into 3 simple pillars that together form a longevity-boosting routine. First, we'll talk about hydration with a purpose. Then we'll move to mitochondrial activation through light and movement. Finally, we'll explore a mind-calming practice that steadies the nervous system and supports mental clarity. The first thing most of us do after waking is reach for a cup of coffee, leaving the body mildly dehydrated after a night of fasting. Even a 2% loss of body water can increase blood viscosity, raise heart rate, and accelerate oxidative stress, key drivers of inflammaging. Research shows that proper hydration restores plasma volume, reduces cortisol spikes, and provides the medium for every biochemical reaction in the body. So here's the practical step. As soon as you sit up, drink 500 milliliters of room temperature water infused with half a teaspoon of sea salt and a squeeze of fresh lemon. The electrolytes replenish what you lost overnight, while the vitamin C in lemon acts as a powerful antioxidant that supports collagen synthesis and immune function. Do this before you even glance at your phone. No screens, just the glass in your hand. If you've ever felt that morning brain fog, give this video a thumbs up. Let's flood our bodies with the right fluids together. Hydration primes the cells, but we still need to wake up the mitochondria, the powerhouses that keep us moving. A sedentary morning keeps the mitochondria in sleep mode, leading to lower ATP production and higher fatigue. A brief exposure to natural sunlight boosts NAD+ levels by up to 30%, a coenzyme essential for DNA repair and cellular energy. The practical instruction is simple. Open your curtains immediately and stand in the light for 30 seconds while inhaling deeply. Feel the warmth on your skin, let the photons penetrate, and imagine your cells lighting up. Next, follow with 3 minutes of gentle movement. Start with ankle circles, then seated knee lifts, and finish with a slow, controlled torso twist. This low-impact routine stimulates blood flow, activates the AMPK pathway, and signals the mitochondria to crank up energy production. If you're surprised by how much a few minutes can do, smash that like button. You're already investing in your future self. Now that your body is hydrated and your cellular engines are humming, it's time to calm the nervous system, because stress is the silent thief of longevity. Chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated, which in turn drives insulin resistance, inflammation, and memory decline. The science behind breathwork shows that a slow, diaphragmatic breathing pattern can shift the autonomic balance toward the parasympathetic branch, reducing heart rate variability and lowering inflammatory markers. Here's what you do after your light and movement. Sit comfortably, place one hand on your belly and the other on your chest, and inhale through the nose for a count of 4, hold for a count of 7, then exhale slowly through the mouth for a count of 8. Repeat this cycle 4 times. Feel the rise and fall of your abdomen. Notice the calm spreading through your mind. This simple practice resets the stress response, sharpens focus, and prepares you for the day's challenges. What do you think about adding this breath ritual to your morning? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how you experience it. These three pillars, purposeful hydration, light-driven mitochondrial activation, and mindful breathing, are not isolated tricks. They are interconnected steps that together create a morning environment where inflammation drops, metabolism resets, and mental clarity flourishes. By drinking the mineral-rich water, you supply the cells with the fluid they need to operate efficiently. By greeting the sun and moving gently, you give the mitochondria the signal to produce energy and repair DNA. By breathing deliberately, you calm the nervous system, allowing the other two processes to work without interference. If this is opening your eyes to a new way of aging, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you won't miss the next part, where we'll dive deeper into nutrition choices that amplify these effects throughout the day. Remember, the goal isn't to overhaul your life overnight, but to adopt a consistent 5-minute routine that aligns your body with its natural rhythm. Start tomorrow morning, follow these steps, and notice how your energy, mood, and overall health begin to shift. In the coming minutes, we'll explore the specific foods that reinforce this morning protocol. But for now, give yourself credit for taking the first step toward a longer, healthier life. If you feel inspired, like this video and let others know that a simple morning ritual can truly add decades. Your future self will thank you. And now that you have set the stage with purposeful hydration, a splash of sunrise light, gentle movement, and deliberate breathing, let's talk about the fuel that will keep those systems humming all day long. Imagine your body as a finely tuned orchestra. The water you sip in the early hours is the conductor setting the tempo. The light and movement are the strings waking the mitochondria to produce the energy that powers every note. Your breath is the woodwinds, smoothing the rhythm and keeping stress from drowning the melody. The nutrition you choose is the brass section, adding richness, depth, and resilience. If any one of these groups is out of sync, the music of your health becomes discordant. So what does the brass sound like when you're over 55? The research points to 3 core categories: antioxidant, rich vegetables, omega-3 fatty acids, and low glycemic fiber-laden carbohydrates. Each of these groups works hand in hand with the morning routine you just adopted. First, let's explore the antioxidant-rich vegetables. These are the colorful allies that fight the tiny molecular fire we call oxidative stress. When you expose your skin to sunlight, you also trigger a cascade of signaling molecules that increase the production of a powerful antioxidant called glutathione. But glutathione needs building blocks, vitamins C and E, beta-carotene, and flavonoids to stay effective. That is why a plate that includes deep purple beetroot, bright orange carrots, and leafy greens like kale or spinach becomes a daily shield. Take a moment to picture a simple breakfast bowl: a base of warm quinoa, a handful of sautéed kale, a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, and a scattering of sliced strawberries on top. The quinoa supplies complete protein and a steady release of glucose, preventing the spikes that can trigger inflammation. The olive oil adds monounsaturated fats that help the body absorb the fat-soluble vitamins in the greens. The strawberries, with their anthocyanins, act like tiny fire extinguishers, dousing the inflammation that often creeps in after a night of sedentary rest. Now, why do we emphasize low glycemic carbohydrates? Because after a night of fasting, the pancreas is primed to release insulin in response to any sudden surge of sugar. A rapid rise in blood glucose not only fuels short-term energy, but also sends a signal that can accelerate the shortening of telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of our chromosomes. When telomeres shrink too quickly, the body's cells age faster than they should. By choosing foods that release glucose gently, you give your cells a chance to repair themselves, keep the telomeres intact, and maintain youthful function. Consider swapping out a sugary cereal for steel-cut oats cooked in almond milk, topped with a sprinkle of cinnamon and a handful of walnuts. Oats are high in beta-glucan, a soluble fiber that slows carbohydrate absorption, while cinnamon has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity. Walnuts bring in omega-3 fatty acids, which we'll discuss next, and a pleasant crunch that satisfies the mind as much as the mouth. Speaking of omega-3 fatty acids, these are the quiet powerhouses that keep the brain sharp and the heart calm. In the aging body, the balance between omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids often tilts toward omega-6, fostering a low-grade inflammation that can erode joint health, impair cognition, and increase the risk of cardiovascular events. By integrating sources of EPA and DHA found in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines into your daily meals, you help restore that balance. If you're not a fan of fish, a tablespoon of ground flaxseed or chia seeds can provide the plant-based counterpart, ALA, which the body can convert to EPA and DHA over time. A practical way to embed these fats is to prepare a simple lunch salad. Mix greens, cherry tomatoes, cucumber, a generous scoop of grilled salmon, a few olives, and a dressing made from lemon juice, Dijon mustard, and a splash of extra virgin olive oil. The lemon not only adds brightness, but also supplies vitamin C, which aids in the absorption of iron from the greens, a crucial mineral for energy production in the mitochondria you awakened earlier. Now, let's not forget the role of fermented foods. The gut-brain axis is a two-way street, and a healthy microbiome can modulate inflammation, support nutrient absorption, and even influence mood. Yogurt with live cultures, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, or a modest serving of miso soup each day can introduce beneficial bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. Butyrate fuels the cells lining the colon, strengthens the gut barrier, and sends anti-inflammatory signals throughout the body. Think of it as a quiet, behind-the-scenes crew that keeps the stage clean for the main performers. If you're wondering how to incorporate these foods without feeling overwhelmed, start small. Add a spoonful of kefir to your morning water or sprinkle a handful of sauerkraut on top of your lunch bowl. The key is consistency, not extravagance. Over time, those tiny habit changes compound, much like the way a few minutes of light exposure each day add up to a significant boost in mitochondrial efficiency. You might be asking, what about the afternoon slump that many of us feel after lunch? This is where timing and synergy become essential. After you've enjoyed a balanced lunch, give your body a brief period of gentle activity, a short walk around the garden, a few stretches, or even a brief standing desk session. Light movement after a meal helps regulate glucose uptake, prevents the postprandial dip in energy, and supports the circulation of nutrients to every cell. It also encourages the lymphatic system to clear waste products, reducing the burden on the immune system. As the day progresses, keep an eye on your hydration. The mineral-rich water you started with in the morning sets a benchmark, but you'll lose fluids through breathing, movement, and even the natural process of digestion. Aim to sip water regularly, perhaps flavored with a slice of cucumber or a few mint leaves for a refreshing twist. Avoid reaching for sugary drinks or excessive caffeine, as these can create spikes in cortisol and undermine the calm you cultivated with your breathing practice. Now, let's turn our attention to the evening, the final act of the daily performance. The quality of your sleep is perhaps the most powerful determinant of how well those morning habits translate into long-term health. As you wind down, dim the lights at least an hour before bedtime and consider using a low blue light lamp if you need illumination. The reduction in blue wavelength signals the pineal gland to produce melatonin, the hormone that orchestrates the sleep-wake cycle. Pair this with a brief gratitude journal, writing down 3 things you appreciated during the day. This simple cognitive exercise shifts the brain away from worry, lowers heart rate, and primes the nervous system for restorative sleep. If you find that you tend to stay up scrolling through screens, replace that habit with a calming ritual, a cup of warm herbal tea, perhaps chamomile or valerian root, followed by a few minutes of gentle yoga poses, such as child's pose or legs up the wall. These positions encourage venous return, lower blood pressure, and signal the body that it's time to transition into rest mode. Remember, the same breathing technique you practiced in the morning can be applied here, but with a slower rhythm. Inhale for 5 counts, hold for 5, exhale for 7. This lengthened exhalation activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest branch, which is essential for deep restorative sleep. A good night's sleep does more than just recharge your energy. It also triggers the release of growth hormone, which supports tissue repair, muscle maintenance, and the clearance of metabolic waste from the brain, a process known as the glymphatic system. By ensuring you get 7 to 9 hours of uninterrupted sleep, you give the body the time it needs to repair the DNA damage that accumulates over the years, maintain bone density, and keep the immune system vigilant without overreacting. Finally, let's consider the social and mental dimensions of longevity. Humans are wired for connection, and studies have shown that strong social ties can extend life expectancy as much as regular exercise. Make it a point to engage in meaningful conversation daily, whether it's a phone call with a grandchild, a coffee chat with a neighbor, or a virtual book club meeting. These interactions stimulate the brain, release oxytocin, and reduce the perception of stress. Pair that with a mental challenge, learning a new language, playing a strategic board game, or practicing a musical instrument to keep neuroplasticity alive. The brain, much like the mitochondria, thrives on novelty and demand. Without it, neural pathways can atrophy, leading to cognitive decline. To summarize, you now have a comprehensive 5-minute morning protocol that sets the tone for the entire day. Intentional hydration with electrolytes and lemon, exposure to natural light, gentle movement to awaken the mitochondria, and a calming breath pattern to balance the nervous system. You complement this ritual with a diet rich in antioxidant vegetables, low glycemic whole grains, omega-3 fatty acids, and fermented foods, all spaced throughout the day with mindful movement and consistent hydration. In the evening, you create a sleep-friendly environment, practice gratitude, and replace screen time with soothing low-light activities, ensuring that the restorative processes of the body are unhindered. Finally, you nurture your social connections and keep your mind active, weaving a tapestry of habits that collectively push back the clock on biological aging. If you feel that this roadmap resonates with you, I encourage you to start tomorrow morning. Set your alarm a few minutes earlier, place a glass of mineral water by your bedside, and let the sunrise be your cue to begin. Notice how the small shifts ripple through your day. Perhaps you feel more alert after lunch. You find yourself sleeping more soundly, or you experience a subtle lift in mood. Those are the early signs that the body is responding positively to the new rhythm you have introduced. Remember, the goal is not to overhaul your entire lifestyle in a single night, but to build a sustainable 5-minute habit that aligns with the body's natural cycles. Consistency beats intensity when it comes to longevity. By committing to this morning routine, you are giving yourself a powerful tool to fight chronic inflammation, support mitochondrial health, and maintain mental clarity well into your later years. If this information has sparked curiosity, please take a moment to like the video. It helps the algorithm bring these insights to more people who could benefit. And if you have questions about any of the steps, or you'd like to share how the routine has impacted your day, drop a comment below. I love reading your experiences and answering your queries. For more deep dives into nutrition, movement, and brain health tailored specifically for seniors, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you won't miss the upcoming episodes where we'll explore specific superfoods, gentle strength training techniques, and strategies to keep your heart healthy. Your future self is already thanking you for the choices you make today. Keep moving forward, stay curious, and remember that a simple 5-minute ritual can truly add decades to your life. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.